Hello everybody, and welcome to Time About the Movies Flashback. Today we're flashing back to May 9th, 1986. So what three films were the people out there going to see 40 years ago? Could I messed up that intro any more? Maybe, but screw it, we're going to keep it in here. Let's go ahead and just get to our first movie. John Badham's directed effort, Short Circuit.
Ultimate soldier. It doesn't get happy, it doesn't get sad, it doesn't laugh at your jokes.
It is quite simply the most sophisticated robot on Earth.
At Nova Robotics, the future is in good hands.
You're doing real good. Just keep working on those last two bars.
Thanks to Dr. Newton Crosby.
Originally, I designed it as a marital aid.
But artificial intelligence has gotten too smart.
Yo! It's malfunctioning. It might not do anything. But it could decide to blow away anything that moves, couldn't it?
Because $11 million worth of robot just hit the road.
Wow!
Number 5 is alive.
Welcome to my planet.
We just have to find number 5, get some answers.
Why don't you come on in my house?
And it's got a lot of living to do.
Whatever it takes to put that stupid contraption out of commission, that's what you do.
More input. More input.
They can seem quite lifelike, but they are still machines.
Number 5 is alive.
Nice software.
How it happens, who knows, but it has happened.
From the director of War Games.
They're gonna be after you. We gotta get out of here now. Hey, he's alive!
Ali Sheedy, Steve Gutenberg, and number 5, Short Circuit.
Don't you just miss the days when you didn't see the money shot, you didn't see the creature, you didn't see the robot, you had to actually go and see the movie yourself because the trailers were not going to show it to you, because that's the smart thing to do instead of, unlike today where we have to show you the money shot, or else how are we going to get you to come see our movie? Hello? Short Circuit. This is, of course, the first movie that led to the obvious sequel that we took a look at a couple years ago, Short Circuit 2. But this one definitely is, I would say it's definitely better, but Short Circuit 2 actually is a much better sequel than you might believe. But in this movie, it centers on an experimental military robot that is struck by lightning and gaining a human-like artificial intelligence, prompting it to escape its facilities to learn more about the world. So in other words, it kind of predicted the future, but then again, this is the same director that did War Games, a movie that made the president at the time, Ronald Reagan, look at this and go like, can this really happen? And they basically changed the way they did things because of War Games. So John Badham clearly has a way of doing these type of films and actually kind of predicting the future, because this is another great movie from him in general. I mean, he was a great director back in the 80s, and this is another one of those movies where he really does make it work in general. You got a great cast that includes the aforementioned Ali Sheedy and Steve Gutenberg. You see Austin Pendleton in there, G.W. Bailey, Fisher Stevens as America's favorite racist Indian guy, played by a white person.
Hey, honey, what is for dinner?
Racist Indian guy will be right back.
Thank you for that, nostalgia critic. But then again, hey, it's the same year where we had I was about to say C. Thomas Howell, but that is not who is in Soul Man. It isn't C. Thomas Howell, is it? It is C. Thomas Howell. I thought it was Tom Hulce for a second, but no. We have a movie later in the year where C. Thomas Howell is a black guy, even though he's white. So, I mean, again, this was a very different time, and yeah, you can't really delete this stuff from history, because basically deleting it from history basically is making it seem like it never happened at all. It's like with the Warner Brothers cartoons, and yeah, Fisher Stevens as what's his name? Benjibitulia. I don't even know if I said that name correct, but it's just kind of like, yeah, it is one of those things where it's just kind of like you're grasping your shirt collar, like like doing the Charles Nelson Riley, but at the same time, like I said, it was part of the time period, and yeah, like I said, you can't really delete this from our history, because you're basically saying that it never existed to begin with. You basically turn it to the enemy, or at this point, the Republican Party, or in this case, the people who are running the country right now. Okay, I'm stop right there, but anyway, back to the movie. It was a good movie. It was a really fun film overall. Number 5 is a very likable character, and when you see him on screen, yeah, it's hard not to get a grasp, not to get too invested in this character. It's hard not to get invested in this character. Let's go with that. But yeah, it's It's a really good movie. It's a very entertaining film. It fits for the time period. It's a movie where, yeah, it does have stuff that could be seen as kind of very sketchy today, but at the same time, you got to remember the time period. Yeah, it's a fun movie overall. I still enjoy it. I think these movies are much fun than most people let on. Yeah, Short Circuit is kind of a fun film in general. So is the sequel. The sequel actually is really good too. So with all that said, let's go ahead and move on to some of the lesser movies that came out this weekend. The two lesser films, I should say. Starting off with this one here, Fire with Fire.
It's incredible.
Fire with fire. Would you like to dance? Fire with fire.
You know the rules, Fist. There ain't no touching.
Fire with
I'm gonna go crazy if I don't see you.
fire with fire.
Looks like we got ourselves a run.
Yo!
Leave us alone!
Fire with Fire, rated PG-13. Starts Friday at selected theaters near you.
A movie that will make you look at that trailer and go like, what the hell is going on in this movie? So you have Craig Sheffer starring as Joe Fisk, a juvenile delinquent who falls in love with Lisa Taylor, played by Virginia Madsen, a beautiful Catholic school student in Oregon Forest. The two meet by accident when Joe finds her being chased by his peers in a training exercise and sees Lisa recreating the pre-Raphaeli painting Ophelia by John Everett Milias by floating in the lake. Both of them are strongly drawn to each other, but as their current custodians discourage contact with the opposite sex, they both find themselves in trouble, forced to run away with each other. The young lovers hope to avoid the police and find happiness. So, okay, it's kind of like a much grittier version of a West Side Story or Romeo and Juliet, which could be awesome, but like I said, that trailer really does not give you a clear indication of how you're supposed to feel about this movie. This movie is kind of pretty... This movie's pretty all over the place, and not in a good way. It's a film where you could see the potential ideas it has for it, but this movie feels definitely something like what Cannon Films would have done. Which, coincidentally, the next movie we'll take a look at is a Cannon film, and yeah, it certainly looks much more like a Cannon. This one looks more like a Cannon film than that one does. And this was released by a major studio in Paramount. It had more bigger names to it. Virginia Madsen, John Polito, Gene Smart, Kerry Wooler, D.B. Sweeney, the music by Howard Shore, Hiro Narita, the cinematographer for, I believe, Raiders of the Lost Ark? Okay, not Raiders of the Lost Ark, but he has done a lot of other notable things. Star Trek VI. That's what I was thinking of. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I knew I saw his name. I knew I saw his name on the credits for something, but I thought it was Raiders of the Lost Ark. But no, it was Honey, I Shrunk the Kids because I used to watch that movie all the time as a kid. But you get the idea. Like, there is talent on here. There is a good idea to it, but it's just a movie that feels like it's all over the place and has no idea what it wants to be, and it is kind of boring when it's all said and done. The relationship overall really isn't that strong. And yeah, it feels like one of those exploitation movies. Again, a Cannon film in general. But let's see what Cannon has to offer us this weekend by taking a look at their film of this weekend, Dangerously Close.
Court's in session. The offense. Guilty. What do you say, Stoner, huh? What'd you say?
At Vista High, in the name of justice, some students are getting away with murder.
I heard about Morgan. That was his body they found this morning. It was the administration that asked us to monitor the student body. Since we started the Sentinels last spring, crime on campus has been almost eliminated. The students feel safer.
You're our pool boy, right? Mr. Verdi must be quite a change for you.
Hey, you ever play Hunt Down? Hunt Down. It's kind of like this intense survival game.
You think hanging around with him's gonna get you somewhere? He's using you!
Sometimes it gets a little out of hand.
But he's a good guy.
Nice costumes, boys. What is this, trick or treat?
It's going a little too far.
He's searching for answers.
It's getting out of hand.
What, Brian? What's happening?
Now he's getting close.
Teach him a little lesson.
Dangerously close.
I don't know what's more interesting about this movie. The fact that none of these people look like they should be in high school. The school looks so weird looking in the sense that it doesn't feel like a high school. It feels more like a college, or the fact that they tried to do this, the closest thing they could do to Most Dangerous Game without calling it Most Dangerous Game. So that's why no wonder I think the movie is called Dangerously Close, because yeah, it's dangerously close to something like Most Dangerous Game. So this is a film about an elite school where a group of students who call themselves the Sentinels begin terrorizing their socially undesirable classmates. Soon, one of their targets ends up brutally murdered, and the editor of the high school paper, played by John Stockwell, begins to investigate, and the Sentinels become even more ruthless in their behaviors. This is directed by Albert Puyen, who had done The Sword and the Sorcerer and Radioactive Dreams before this. And yeah, this is very much a canon film as you can get, and like I said, it's a movie where it's stylishly impressive. I mean, just the way that it looks different than most of these type of films, but it is a film that fits right into the category of these teen vigilante films that was coming. You know, the film was noted for the time, according to Wikipedia, as being part of a wave of teen vigilante films exploring the right-wing jingoism that was getting popularity in the United States, and it definitely shows in this movie. But yeah, it's one of those movies where it feels like they're trying to do their own version of Most Dangerous Game without calling it Most Dangerous Game, and not really doing a good job at it overall. Like I said, it is stylishly impressive overall, and you do get some good performances. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Good Lord. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I don't know what was going on there, but you do get some good performances from John Stockwell, Carrie Lowell. You see appearances by Don Michael Paul, J.D. Peck, Miguel A. Nunez Jr., Dee Pfeiffer. Some names you might be familiar with overall, but it is what it is. It's a movie where it fits right into the echelon of canon films in general, where they try to be something unique and different, but they feel like they're cheaper than the usual stuff. And again, this feels more like a movie that at least was trying to do something unique and different than something like Fire with Fire, which feels more like the canon film than this does, but this is still a canon film regardless, so it wouldn't be shocking at all if you didn't see the typical canon tropes in this. So yeah, not much more to say about that one. That's dangerously close for you. And thus, with all that said, we wrap up another episode of Time About the Movie's Flashback. Next time, we'll flashback to the beginning of May 1986 with the Richard Pryor dramedy JoJo Dancer, Your Life is Calling. We also have Blue City and also No Retreat, No Surrender. So we'll take a look at those three films. That'll be coming up next week on the show, so stay tuned for that. But with all that said, thank you so much for watching this. If you somehow found enjoyment in this, more power to you. But if you did, hit that like button, subscribe button, notification button. Check out our last episode we did, as well as our playlist. And I will see you guys next week. So until then, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care.